coming through, live and direct, reaching out to my good peoples in this world. Make it so that we go about looking for opportunities that come our way in life. Because every chance that we get, we shouldn't squander it on not being grateful for the opportunity that we're given. You see, the thing that I come to say is that if you see that young lady, and if you admire that young lady, go over and speak to that young lady. If you see that young man, and the admiration is there, let your next move be your best move. In that you go about pursuing the truth so that it may be seen that you are going about living your best life. And in living your best life, you're not going to let nothing go to happenstance, because you are going forth and making things right. But unless we change that mindset, unless we go about coming up with an attitude and taking advantage of each opportunity given, we're going to be stuck in place where we're just going to be wondering, why is it that I'm losing? But the reason many of us can't come to realize why we're losing is because we don't know the truth. And because we don't know the truth, that makes us afraid to go about pursuing our true happiness. And what is it that goes really about making you happy? And the things that you think. Hello, hey, what's going on? So the things that go about making you happy, are you going about pursuing these things? Hey, thanks there, Life Gospel. Because only when we go about pursuing and not being afraid to go about stepping forth in faith and in belief that things will go about getting better for us, then we will go about becoming and truly go about living that happiness. I don't believe anybody is ugly. And okay, hey, thanks there, Connor. Bless up, man. Much respect. Nobody is ugly in this world. And if that's the way you're feeling, we have to go about addressing that. Because beauty is a vibration in which it carries its own weight. Life is not about superficial beauty. Life is not about the fancy dress, the makeups, and all of that stuff. Can you name a car? Can you name a car for an edit? No, I can't name no car for no edit. So, life is not about being superficial, lipstick, wigs, and all that stuff. Life is a vibration. Beauty is a vibration. Excuse me for that. And in that, how we go about feeling about ourselves and expressing ourselves to the world, then it shows how beautiful you really are. Because being ugly, it's a descriptive negative connotation that we go about putting upon ourselves because we do not go about meeting up to life's expectation. But beauty, it's about being yourself. It's about treasuring that inside quality and moving in life that goes about creating a positivity. Now, if that's the way you're living, where you're creating a positivity and not basically bending to life's social norms and how you're supposed to carry yourself, I got a good speech. Okay. And so forth. So it's more about creating that positive vibration. And that's the beauty of it all right there. That we got to hold on to that ideology. That beauty is not superficial. Because there's too many young people who believe that because they don't look like the Super Bowl or they don't tall and so forth, they're not the jock, but they're ugly. Own beauty, who you really are, so that beauty shines forth and it gives that vibration that is a true reflection of who you are. Hey, the Dino replies Roblox. Okay, what's up? What's up? Yeah, my son get down Roblox, man. He lives for that stuff. But the message and point is that life, we must not be afraid. If you're trying to make the basketball team at your school, if you're trying to go about becoming that cheerleader, don't be afraid. That's the key. Don't be afraid, because being afraid, you're going to miss out on life's entirety. And we must encourage each other. If you got friends who are afraid to go forth, give them that nudge. Sometimes that nudge is all we need to help us go forth in life. And that's the beauty about life right there, is that once we start to believe in ourselves, everything, hey, bless up, everything will go forth, and it will spread like the rays of the sun, you see. But we have become too afraid to be ourselves, because society wants to go about promoting a social construct where everybody is forced to go about fitting in. And life is not constructed on notion, on the basis that we are all to act the same, because we're all different. It's all about embracing our uniqueness. That's what gives life true meaning, because what you got to bring to the table is something special, you see. But if you are carrying on like everybody else, then there's nothing unique about you. So every day, seek out that opportunity that you go about taking advantage of it. Despite what happens, despite how things is looking, seek that opportunity. And in seeking that opportunity, it will help you to realize that all I got to do is go try. And once you go give it a shot, you never know how it's going to work out. Don't ever be afraid. Because fear will keep you in your place. And life was meant to be lived. Life was not meant for you to go about staying in a little box or being afraid to step out of your shoes. Nah, man, life is bigger than that. Embrace this. Live it up. Don't be reckless, but live it up. Each day gives you an opportunity for you to go forth and be like, hey, this opportunity was presented just for me. You follow. And that no matter what comes your way, you're going to find out, okay, things ain't for me. Certain things I could work. But in life, ain't nothing going to pop off. And when nothing pop off, it's because you're not doing your part. So make it a priority that moving forward in life, that you go about doing your part, you coming to terms and not being afraid. That's what you got to hold on to, man. That's what you got to do right there. Make every moment count. That's what living is all about. Life is a spectacular thing. But if you're afraid, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? You see, because fear is only an illusion and a perception that we go about holding on to. Because we have created these ideologies and that this is how things work. But that's not reality. Hey, bless up, man. I love it. Hey, be safe out there. Every day I come on, I try to put some positive information out there to go about inspiring and uplifting the way we go about looking at life and approaching life. So respect, thank you very much. Formulating the lives just to try to go about helping others see and hold on to the ideology that they too are special. And everything is purposely done. Despite what you're going through, you're all right. So, if at this point in time in your life, you are at a crossroads and not knowing where to go or what to do, the best person you could turn to is yourself. And a little quiet time alone is going to really help you out. Because 5 minutes of serenity will give you clarity for things that you've been struggling with your whole life. And not too many people go about practicing that solitude and that serenity. Because there's an inner voice which goes about speaking. But because we don't take enough time for ourselves, we can't hear our conscience talk. We can't hear that inner voice whispering, giving us that sense of direction. You see, everybody is so rah, 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 and so consumed with noise that they can't even listen to themselves think. But if they would just take that 5 minutes with a little bit of solitude they would go about discovering the true blessing that's within. And they would receive answers to the things in which they go about struggling with. You see? So, let it be that every day, man, I don't care what opportunity it is that presents itself for you, go ahead and try to go about maximizing that opportunity. Go out and go get it. Don't wait for that opportunity to find you. Sometimes you got to go out there and go find your opportunity. Like it goes about saying, blessed is the man that can hold his own. So, it just does not apply to males, but the entirety of the human population. When you go out there and create that energy, not create that energy, but when you go about there interacting with that energy to go about getting something for yourself, that vibration will return and present itself. But if you there sitting on your ass, ain't nothing gonna come back for you because you're not doing nothing. So just know that life is about peaks and valleys. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Sometimes up, sometimes down. But you gotta keep going. Nobody said it was gonna be an easy walk. Nobody said that life is one straight line. You just gotta keep going. And once you keep going, you're gonna see how opportunities come in many manifestation and ways to go about helping you along the way. There's an old parable. And that when one goes and fishes without bait, how can he ever go about expecting to catch anything? Now, the parable is quite simple. He wants to eat, but he's not applying the right things for him to go about catching a fish so he can eat. Now, if you go about applying that knowledge to yourself, you will see that because you want things. If you're not going about applying the right things, you're not going to get anything in return. And since you're not going to get anything in return, you're going to get irritated and frustrated. But even though life presents many opportunities, unless you change your way of thinking and going about applying the knowledge that life is trying to give you, you will forever stay hungry. And in being hungry, that will leave you discouraged. But don't hold on to that mentality. Find what is required so that you may go about eating, so that you can go about garnering what you're supposed to garner out of this whole journey right here. And when you go about doing that, then you will go about taking advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Don't be idly standing by. Get in the game. For then, you will know what to do and how to go about doing it. But if you're standing in the sidelines, there's nothing you will be learning. And since you can't learn nothing from standing in the sidelines, you better reassess how you're doing things in life. So, let it be, man. Engage yourself. Get in the game. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Bet on yourself. You bet on everything else. Why not bet on yourself? Believe in yourself. Push yourself. So, that's the thing that I need from each and every human being that I run into, is for them to go about betting on themselves, for them to go about loving themselves, and not going about neglecting themselves, because life within itself is a blessing. Not all will go about embracing that blessing, but you can't do nothing about others. The only thing you can do is make sure that you're walking correct, making sure that your footsteps is righteous, making sure that you looking at life from a positive note. And once you keep looking at life from a positive note, then that's what it's going to be. Because vibration is energy, man. And the more you vibrate and radiate out positive energy, the better things will be for you. Life will start looking up for you. You hang around positive people, you will see opportunities start to open up. Because even if you're in a situation, those people that you're hanging around and they're being positive, they are going to reach out to other people, and other people that they hang out with are going to reach out to other people, and that way opportunities will go about making its way out to you. But if the company you keep is negative, they can see your ass on fire. They wouldn't even call 911 to put you out, because they from a negative place. They not going to reach out to help you out. So that's what I'm saying. And positivity breeds vibration. You see? And once we hold on to that, then it's going to be the beauty within. So that's all we can do, man, is just go about making it so that everywhere we go, every opportunity that comes our way, that we are maximizing and getting everything we need to go about getting out of it. And once we can do that, then we're going to be living our true purpose. Some people going to look at it from a viewpoint that just because my family ain't shit, I'm not going to be shit. But you got to let that mentality go, because you are not your family. Yes, you're part of your family, but you are not your family. Because, like I said in the other live that I did the other day, life is about choices. And choices lead us to where we're going to go in life. Some choices are free to learn from. Some choices are you so that you can get ass whooping. Some choices will lead you to greatness. But unless you go about practicing making the right choices, you will not go about getting anything. And that's the key that I'm trying to go about promoting. Because if you hold on to the notion that you're going to stand on the side, how are you going to go about getting that blessing that you deserve? You're not. Because life is a skill. And the more you go about practicing that skill, the better you will become at it. But if you're not practicing that skill, how could you improve it? You won't. You can't improve. What are you doing? Every opportunity is for you to go about getting better in life, man. That's what life is about. Life is a winding road. You just got to be able to navigate the courses. You just got to stay between your lane. Sometimes you got to speed up. Sometimes you got to slow down. But as the song would say, you just got to navigate. And when you learn to navigate the terrain, then beauty will begin. So be okay in knowing. Win or lose, my job is to take advantage of every opportunity presented to me. My job is not to sit on the sideline, but my job is to go out and get up on it. My job is to go make sure that, hey, we gonna make this work. And making it work, despite outlook or the last outcome, what we got to lose? You got to have these one-on-ones with yourself from a time-to-time basis. We all need a sense of belief. And who better to give it on than you? Who knows you better than you? Nobody. Nobody knows you better than you. So let it be that, hey, you go about holding on and for that opportunity out, so that when you go forward, you make every opportunity count. And that's what we got to go about being mindful of. I just got to go about doing my part. And once I go about doing my part, then it's a blaze from there. So be okay, man. Be okay in knowing that you're going to be all right. And come to that monologue, the better it's going to be for you. The brighter things going to be. Because when we go about holding on to the concept of our life, you can't expect to be a successful person if you're not working it yourself, if you're not engaging in every opportunity that comes your way. Because one thing about life, don't ever take anything for granted and saying that this opportunity will go about presenting itself again. Because we never know when it's going to happen. So every opportunity, man, I need for you to go about taking advantage of it. I need for you to live each moment like it's your last. I need for you just to grab life and run with it. Like it's the most precious thing that you've ever found. But sweet as it sounds, that many may go by hearing. All I ask is that those who have understanding go about applying it. Because words will make your ears tickle, but understanding will cause your foot to movement, and that's what we need. The days of preaching and sitting up there, nah, we need movements now. We need call to action, because time is of the essence, and for a long time we have been wasting it. We gotta stop. We have to stop, because it's about time we start applying ourselves, man. And in applying ourselves, then hopefully it gives us that opportunity for us to go about getting what we need to get. And once we do that, that'll be a blessing right there. That'll be a blessing. So it's okay. Things do get better, man. Things do get better. You just gotta look for that opportunity. And once you find that break, man, like what my man Eminem said, you get one shot. So you better make each opportunity count. Life is not gonna wait around. Take that opportunity. Get that job, take that damn job. Something else better is coming behind it. But remember, we gotta crawl before we can walk. So it's only when we go about understanding what we're dealing with, then we can be given more. But if we can't go about comprehending what we have, one will never go about receiving more. And that's the blessing. Come to terms with what's going on in your life, so that by you garnering understanding, your blessings will go about multiplying. Like, they have this little thing, right? YouTube, and it kind of, you will see all these church websites. They'll go about talking about, oh, hit this code right here and your blessing shall be multiplied by 700. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Man in his truest nature is greedy. You think he had the drop on how to go about getting blessings, that he wouldn't have kept that for himself? But the con works because they know that there's a necessity and there's a lack in people's lives. So you go about looking for vulnerable people to prey on, and you take away their money, and that's what sickens me about these institutions that go about preying on the weak and the feeble in regards to